So, what questions do you have, or how can I?
Let's do this, guys, one at a time. Raise your hand. Person will point to gets to ask a question.
I think he was first, so.
Okay, I have a question here. The stuff that you're doing is fascinating. The main reason I'd like to know a bit more is I know the German national team and the LA Galaxy use the power play.
Yep.
And I'm just sort of fascinated to see how you use it for application to soccer.
Okay.
Just mainly
Yeah, quick. I mean, power play's a great tool, but it is a tool. It's like the thing with tools is if all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail, right? And for us, everything's not a nail. We know that from player to player. You have a nail, you have a screw, you have an Allen wrench, you have different things. So the power plate is a tool. Things that we use it globally for is we use it for recovery. The thing with the power plate, if you do just a squat on the power plate, right? Every neuromuscular unit in your body fires. It doesn't have a choice. That's what vibration does. So when you play a match, 90 minutes, right? Your compensations will come out. Like if you like to use your hamstrings a little bit more than your quads and your glutes and extension, it's gonna come out. So you're gonna have soreness and stiffness there. If now I have you do that same movement on the power plate, everything fires. So it can be used as a reawakening, right? The day after or 2 days after, kind of as a recovery. For that same reason, it can be used as part of a warm-up. So if you had players that are stiff or something coming in, probably we look at like a week, and we usually go Saturday match, Sunday recovery, Monday off, Tuesday a medium day, Wednesday kill them, right? Thursday very, very low. But after that Tuesday and Wednesday, that Thursday players are coming in, it's tight, stiff, sore. So they can use that power plate to reawaken everything prior to going out on the pitch. So those are two areas that we use it globally, right? Individually, it's a phenomenal tool for single joint mobility and also increasing strength if you're doing strength movements on there. But that's on an individual basis. It's not necessarily every player needs to do a strength routine on the power plate. Right? Does that answer?
Okay, and then that's good. Now the only thing is, can you or have you used power plate for speed development?
Well, if you look at the components of speed, it's important that everything is awake. So yes, you can do it. You can also do it. You can do a 15-second power play and then a powerful movement in the gym. And that is also how we've used it. But again, that's more individually, looking at this player is going to benefit from this. And maybe they have a mobility, the power play opens up their mobility, then they can do the movement correct. Because that's what we want. We train movement, not muscles. So we want the movement to be correct, right?
Because the thing, I guess, just to finish.
Sorry, we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
Just that for stability and coordination, that's what I'm kind of working on, trying to expand.
Next question.
So how many times a week should be done?
Plyos, looking at your periodization, right? So if you're looking at in season, if you have a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday English week matches, I wouldn't do any. The quick rapid response, you can do them fine. When you have a whole week, right, then you probably want to do 2 sessions. Right? And you saw a lot of things out there today, but we're talking in season. My idea for you all, what we use is 30 contacts. That's the plyo session, 30 contacts. So we're not talking about the rapid response, but the hops, bounds, whatever you're going to use. So that's 2 sets, 3 or 4 repetitions, 3 exercises, right? So it's very little volume. In your preseason, in your off season, now you can up that volume to 50 to 70 contacts depending on the exercise, right? If you're doing single leg, then maybe it's more 70. If you're doing double leg, maybe it's 50. But you have to take into account that in the off season, they're not playing. Because playing and training is contact. So you have to take that account, reduce the volume, keep the intensity high if you've trained it in the preseason, because then you just keep them. Right? You keep them at that level that you built, right? If you get another winter break, it depends on the league you're in, then you can up the volume, rebuild them back up, and keep that intensity. That's the parameters we use.
Thanks.
Another question? Yeah, ma'am.
It seems like the boys were struggling a little bit with some of the things you wanted them to do. How much do you emphasize the arm movement on the jumps?
Yeah, you can.
They didn't get it, and you kept asking them to do it. So is the arm movement starting up, coming down, and back up? extremely important to that exercise?
I think it is, because I think you can take it out if you just want to make sure that they're getting the proper lower body movement. But the whole point of doing plyometrics is to help their movement on the pitch. So when they're cutting, as you saw when we did some of the cutting in the end, when they started really using that arm to whip them around, you saw a big difference. When they run, your legs don't go any faster than your arms. That's just, so the coordination between the two is so important for movement in general that it's important to get that coordination in the plyos. So in 1 hour, it's tough. And also there is some education, which normally we do a little education. This is what I want to see, here's a video, then we go out. Whereas these players didn't get to see anything. They saw probably bad demos by me, and that's it. So he was next one.
A friend of mine did a mentorship with Scott Fury. He's been talking with Mark also about having you guys come out and actually train 3 of the teams that I coach.
Yeah.
We're having a hard time figuring out how long would a session be. What's your ideal number of players for you guys to work with? You know, would a normal, like if you were to set up a 3-week training schedule, would each session per group be like an hour, half hour?
Are you training football as well?
Well, I'll take, and that's where I'll have to coordinate it, you know, because the main emphasis of that 3-week period is going to be movement activities and help them prepare. They range in age from U13 to U16, so I want to try and get their body mechanics down, and then I can take the soccer side of it later. But would it be roughly like a half hour?
Yeah, I think that, you know, depending on if you're doing once, twice a day, and all these sorts of things, but generally in that age range, when I look at development, if I look at my A national team with Germany, how much time do I spend physically every day? Maximum 30 minutes. Normally 15 to 20, because what the coach always gives me is a warm-up, right? So do I use the warm-up to jog around the pitch and get warm? Or do I get warm by doing things that help them? Different mobility, different movement skills, plyometrics, all will make them really warm, right, and ready to play, no problem. But there's a goal to it, you know. I'm not saying that there aren't days that we don't have a goal, we just go out and warm up, and then, you know, on a lower day when we don't want to do some of that, yeah, we'll jog, stretch, do the normal soccer warm-up. And for you, as you go down in the development, the thing that changes is time. Now, A-level national team is 15, 20 minutes. When you go down to 13 to 16-year-olds, the prime point for physical development, it should be now a third of a training session. It should be physical. So if you're out there for 90 minutes, I would take 30 of it. That would be a warm-up, plyometrics, and movement skill, whether it be acceleration, multi-directional agility work, or absolute speed. Young players need all. They need to generally develop. When we get older, then we start to be very, very specific. Because my players don't need everything. I have some great accelerators and some bad guys at agility. I have some great top speed guys, but bad at acceleration. And we have to work on specific pieces. So that's what I would say. Kind of a general answer, but I don't think we're going to take.
That's what I was hoping for.
A strength session, power session, maybe in the gym. If you're doing a general strength, might be 45 minutes to an hour.
I've seen you before and after. You know, kids that before they went down to like Florida did a week-long session there and after, and it's night and day.
Scott's now at the Red Bull.
Yeah, he's in Chicago. Yeah, that's where he did.
No, he's with New York Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
He's the head fitness coach for New York Red Bull.
Is he really?
Yeah.
One question.
Thank you.
Do you guys use much yoga to help with stability and mobility at all?
We do. I think yoga is fantastic. I think it needs to be specific, because yoga is all about getting length, and a lot of yoga, they don't care how. They just want you to get length. So we have a great yoga guy that travels with us. You know, German national team is the extreme. We have all the resources you need, right? But then you have to go down to where, if you're the fitness coach or the coach, what are some different yoga things you can use, incorporating the breathing, incorporating the mind, that are good, you know, and simple, that you can get. And the main point for us is getting mobility out of the hips, right, and not out of the back. And that's something like, if you start at the ankle, this is from Mark Hummerford, if anybody's into fitness or something, it alternates as it goes up. From the ankle is a mobility joint, right? The knee is a stability joint. The hip, mobility joint. Low back, stability. Thoracic spine, mobility. cervical spine, stability, shoulder, mobility, elbow, stability, wrist, mobility. You get pathology when those flip. When you're using your knee for mobility, so in squatting, if you're doing this and not this, you get knee problems, right? Because now your hips become the stability joint and the knees become the mobility joint, right? And that's just a simple way to look at it. So when you're doing your yoga things, where are you getting mobility and where are you getting stability? And those are the important pieces.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Which is the website you say?
Our website is athletesperformance.com. So athletes, it's plural, and then our interactive training website is coreperformance.com.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much. I think, are we done? Or I mean, I'll still be around, so if you guys, we can go sit in the stand or something too. I'll grab it. Thank you. Very nice to meet you.